Never before in all our history have
these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
That's my project thing. You are going to start this up. It's the means of breaking families for this class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Yeah, okay, so I totally fucked up the intro with the card, but whatever. I was looking at chat, and I see Deniz, here we go, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and then, oh, wait, we're at the point with the card. Hang on, shit. I'm the worst engineer in live stream history of this channel. Yes.
Yes. And this is why we love you for this.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. We don't have Laura here, so we really haven't had the person that keeps us in line and in control. She's off with her beau in Idaho with his family, and they're having a fun time there because you've got some people on both sides of the political spectrum all the way, so that should be fun times for Laura. But she did give us some cards and some stuff to talk about in absentia Laura, so that's nice. Deniz is dropping in and looking rather awesome, like Village People 2.0. Deniz, man, just rocking it there. Haven't seen you in a while. Say hi to Deniz, everybody.
Hi guys.
Hey Deniz.
Hope you're doing fine.
And thank you, Gene. Love you too. And thank you for the money, everybody. Whoever donated this morning. Who donated this morning? Al and Gene.
And Al.
And from last night, too, thank you for the generous donations during the special. That was really nice, everybody. You are helping fund all sorts of things, like the memory that I put in the machine this morning that it doesn't seem to recognize. I'm not sure why. I fucking hate memory. I could do a whole dissertation on memory and machines and how stupid PC memory is. It's just dumb. But anyway, thanks for buying me that. I promise we'll get more memory in the machine at some point. That's the second batch. But yeah, last night was really cool. We're going to talk about last night, and then Markus is going to talk about climate change, and Deniz is going to talk about being human or what it means. And that includes Donald Trump, apparently. So talk about that.
Not really. That's not something you brought up in the green room, my friend.
I did.
Markus was stirring shit. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Melissa. How are you? Schultze, Al, human. Hi. Oz. What's in here? Ima, Dina, Stockpost. I'm just gonna cruise through names real quick. I used to do it. Brian, how you doing? Jim, Wandering Willow. Hey, it's been a while since I just went through names. Jeffrey Pearson. All right.
Yeah.
That's enough. Yeah, here. 30 people already. Holy cow. All right, let's talk about some stuff. Last night we had a conversation with Ken Ward, and it was pretty awesome. Actually, it was pretty amazing. And Ken is a real-life climate action hero, and he gets arrested often now, and he's one of the 5 valve turners, and it was really cool. He used to live in Oregon, and now I believe he lives in Yamhill, he said he lives in Yamhill, but I think that's across the way. And he's it was an incredibly in-depth conversation. We talked about all sorts of things have been bugging me, right? Despair in climate, the disconnection between people who are aware like us and recognize that we're watching our species get annihilated, and we're not all panicking, and the people that are buffering from that panic, and our relationships, talking about capitalism, which we really have to dive into way more, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But I really want to say, please, this movie was not funded by Exxon. It wasn't funded by Bank of America. we're going to talk about that too. I wish I'd grabbed that clip from the interview, the WAPO interview. 'Cause that was, yeah, at the very beginning. Do you remember that at the beginning? Yeah, I should have grabbed that.
Yeah, when Bernie came in, the first thing he said was, "Is it really sponsored by Bank of America?"
Yeah. It's like, is it really? Really? Fucking A.
Yeah, he was pretty grumpy about it. Yeah.
He was. But we've got a even better clip. But I want to encourage everyone right now to write this down or just go bookmark this. The reluctantradicalmovie.com. Go there. You can download this, rent it, buy it. If you're a nonprofit or an educational institution, you can get it either at a discount or order it as a kit for teaching. We're going to do a screening. Ken, this is what he does now. Other than direct actions and work with XR Portland, Extinction Rebellion Portland. This documentary is so good at really covering a lot of topics. It's not just about the valve turners. It's not just about the action. It's not just about Ken. It really talks about a lot of the deeper issues that we have right now with all of us, humanity, dealing with the climate crisis or not dealing with the climate crisis, right? That includes capitalism. And unfortunately, in order for us to fund action against capitalism, we have to use capitalism, because really it's the mechanism that's driving our extinction. And I think that's going to be the evolution of the climate movement, is recognizing that we can't keep fueling our own extinction by putting capitalism above our existence, which it is right now. And I'm going to show you an example of that. But my point to this was, support Ken. He said something that I don't know how many of you, if you didn't watch the interview, go back and watch it. But he said something that really caught me. And he said, in 20 years, he's unemployable. And I get that. And I'm not nearly as radical as Ken is. All right. But it's not, he didn't, I want to talk to him more about that. He didn't just say, he can't find a job as a radical, which is true. If you're doing something like Ken does, you're toxic to those organizations because they have to work with capitalism to stay alive and drive their message. And that includes Greenpeace, and that includes all of them, right? Everything Bill McKibben is doing, 350.org. They all have to use fucking capitalism. Yes. But if you're a radical doing civil disobedience, fuck capitalism. The only thing you have to worry about is, can you afford bail? Can you get legal fees? What assets do you have that the police can seize, right? Yes. And that's really the problem, is that people like Ken rely on people like us to fund their efforts. XR Portland, right? Because like Bernie, if you don't cross the line, if you won't work with corporations, then you're actually on the other side. Then you're actually fighting the fight. It's really coming down to that we have to put an end to capitalism driving everything we do. Ken dropped this in Facebook this morning. Mind-blowingly stupid what this is. So this says, how carbon capture tech is easing industry's green transition. And this was in Forbes. Right? Business, Forbes, money. So the first part of the article talks about the need for carbon capture, and we know this. We can't just plant trees. We can't just stop using fossil fuels completely immediately. We have to reclimate. We have to, sequester this carbon, or we're fucked. Things can't stay at this level, right? And so the first part of this just clarifies everything the panel on climate change talks about and why we need to do this, blah, 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 and talks about doing it by 2050, which is a stupid goal, but whatever. There's a little spot down at the bottom where they talk about how this is driving or easing the industry's green transition. You know how it's easing it? Money, profit, where? Oil. Does that make any fucking sense? To provide a revenue stream for carbon capture, the CO2 is compressed, transported, and pumped underground into an oil formation to increase overall oil production. To increase oil production. That should just ring in your head. Like, what? So let's take this to the end. Capitalism, companies like Exxon and whoever else realize, so Exxon has a $25 billion annual budget. It spends $1 billion on green, the other $24 billion on oil. Well, if we slide some of that over and spend it on carbon capture, we can increase oil production, which increases carbon capture. So then we can regulate the level of CO2. Don't have to bring it down to anything good. We just say we're doing it. And that way there'll be places on Earth where the rich can afford to live and everybody else will survive wherever the fuck they are. And we make a shit ton more money and we don't stop processing fossil fuels ever, because we're just going to sequester enough to keep things, or not. That's where we're going here. Capitalism is going to drive turning our planet, either we're going to wipe ourselves out in capitalism trying to do this, trying to regulate, trying to make money off this, or we're going to end up with small pockets of rich people and everybody else in just fucking hellhole. Right?
It shows clearly, in my opinion, it shows clearly what is more relevant, capitalism or our species. The decision is already made. If you see this, the decision is made. It is beyond stupidity. But there's so much we saw in the last couple of years, which is beyond stupidity. So it's just an addition now. Well, capitalism, indeed, as you say. If you try to connect with capitalism, if you try to use capitalism as to be a part of the solution or as a solution anyway, you only get a kind of compromise out of it. And I think the time is up for compromises, And as I said yesterday during the interview in chat, we as a species would need a complete different, new mindset, in how we define ourselves as a species or as a community or a society or whatever,
Right.
And this is not happening, and the time is running out, and I doubt that 10 years or less is enough, to create such a mindset, to question all this, what is normal for us today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which leads us into your topic of weather in 2050.
And this makes it very easy for me, to be honest, because I got very nice slides, and the slides already tell enough. If you can start with the first one, please, John.
Sure. Yes, you did make very pretty slides today. Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
beautiful
there we can see on the left side we see the development of the climate change between 1986 and 2015.
Who did this piece? Is this Vox? Is this the Vox article?
This is a Vox. Yes, this is the Vox article on in how far America gets warmer. They put
and they only did America.
This is only America. This is only the influence on America.
Nobody cares about Germany. It's just...
Yeah, we have our own problems here.
Yeah, you do.
Anyway, as you can see, the left side is you see a lot of dark or blue fields. This is the cold temperatures during the winter times, and below they see on the left side the summer times. And if you now look what's going on between 2036 and 2050, you see a very, very big difference, especially when you go to the summer times in this period. There you see that all of what was before the little blue fields at the edges, this is all gone, and it is getting more and more orange and hot and red, and it is very worrying, because if you go to the next slide, please, yes. I think it's a very, very interesting experiment they made here. They say that by the climate change, the temperature would influence the states, that the climate would wander 2 states. All the states which are now in the north would have the climate which have now the middle states. Or if you closer you are to the south, the hotter it will be. And they can see the red little points. It is where in the future the climate of those the climate of those cities would be. It would be completely different, you know. And I don't know.
Yeah, on the Vox page they move. They show you how they come down.
Yes. I don't.
Yeah, but it totally makes sense. It's just saying, you know, it's basically saying people up north are going to have nicer weather.
Yes.
People down south are going to have shittier weather, it's hotter weather.
Yeah. In South they will have hell, you know.
Yeah.
And there you have the next study I put in as I'm in Germany. If you go there on the website, the link is in the video description. It automatically shows your location where you are based and your temperature by 2050. And in my case, from Germany, I put in Miami because this is one of the most states who have to fear the most devastating climate changes. They can see how it will rise. By 2050, they will have 3.5 degrees Celsius rise, climate rise.
Is that
Fahrenheit.
Celsius?
Fahrenheit, sorry.
Yeah, I'd say. But on the other hand, Miami will be underwater. So
Yes. Okay.
I'm not sure why this matters.
It doesn't matter anymore. Okay.
Thank you.
But anyway, you can see also in the next slide, you can see also in how far the temperature has changed by the years, by 1916 to 2015. And then the green ones show what's going on between 2036 and 2050. It is a drastic development, if you see so, and especially if you go into the winter season, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a big difference, and this would explain, in my opinion, why Florida would be, as John said, underwater by 2050. So it doesn't matter much.
Well, and this affects crops so bad. You know, this is going to affect crops massively. It already is affecting crops hugely.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the point on that is to go to that page. All the links are in there, everybody, and just plug in your city. If you're in the United States, it should just pop up. If you've got locations, if you're already being tracked by Google, so just pop up and show you. I'm lucky where I am. I think we're not going to be as bad, but we're going to be hotter than we are, and I don't want to be that. I really kind of like the temperature right now, but we're supposed to get more wet. I don't think Germany is going to fare that well. You guys, the heat wave coming to you is what I showed on the cover for us, right?
Next week we are expecting another heat wave here in Germany.
Yeah.
And the understand that, and of course everybody that's dealing with this right now, and I saw a number of people in chat. Hi everybody, nice to have you here. How many people are here right now? 41. Hey everybody. A number of people in chat that said they were in one of these areas and it was hot as fuck and they were dealing with this. And it's not just the heat, it's the humidity.
Yes.
Right? I've been in Dallas where it was 90 degrees, but it was dry as a bone. And I was like, this isn't bad, you know.
That's different, yeah.
You get 90 degrees with humidity and it sucks, right? And that's why Florida sucks a lot. And now Florida really fucking sucks because tropical.
In Florida, if I can add this quickly, in Florida they say also, it would get so hot it will be dangerous to go outside. Heat waves around the country could last up a month, you know.
Right, and that's
that you're bound to your house, that you cannot go out, right?
Not during
daytime.
Yeah. That's what we're seeing here, because these are the heat indexes, right? And this is 101, 105, 100 degrees. You know, human beings can sustain these temperatures maybe for a while, but if they're going for days on end, you got elderly, you got and then the problem is if you've got all of you know what's happened with the weather patterns, right? Is that we've got this moisture just pounding up from the south, and normally that stuff would be forming storms, and it's not forming storms. It's just coming right on up into the coast, and it's meeting with the heat, and so there's been shit tons of rain in this area. And that's why the heat index is so high. It's just created a tropical horror story in the United States northeast and south, and it's. I guess I hate it for all of you that are in those areas and being affected. I'm really sorry. And on the other hand, the more rich people on the East Coast are affected, they'll either move away, which I don't know, maybe it makes them less influential in the United States, hopefully, or they'll do something about it. And we did talk with Ken last night about the fact that there's a bunch of philanthropists who are now going to be dumping a bunch of money into XR and funding their efforts. And again, it's capitalism driving the change, and I don't know. It's what do you guys think? Air conditioner sales? Yeah, air conditioner sales are going to go through the freaking roof. You're right, Deanna. They already are in other countries. And in Europe, I mean, you guys don't even have those. Not a lot of places, right? I mean,
I got them where you when you have been here in Germany at your place at the second level, you had a
yeah, but that's it. Like you had that added later. Most homes in Europe aren't equipped with air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's a big problem. See, in America, the problem is going to be how old's your air conditioner and can you afford to keep it running? Right.
Yeah.
That's with no income stream for Americans, really, with, most of us heading down into poverty toilet. It's like, well, when my air conditioning goes, my health goes if I'm living in an area where I need it. Right.
Yeah.
And then I can't afford my health insurance. So, this is like the slow die off.
Yes.
That's what's happening in the United States. And then we're going to rely on capitalism to save us.
Yes. And this shows the bizarreness. Yeah. Speaking about bizarre, John, do you really hate me that much?
Where? What?
The T-shirt.
Oh, I was in a good mood. I put this on for you, Scorpion. Oh, yeah.
I just recognized it. Fuck you, man.
I was all excited about last night. 30 degrees Celsius.
In comparison,
with
I have Jimi Hendrix on my shirt.
Scorpions were better. I'm sorry. Hendrix. Who is he?
I got Alex on my arm.
Yes, well, she's not in a band.
Ah.
She's not in a band. All right, so what else we got here? Laura loaded up some stuff to talk about. Thank you for that more depressing information on climate change, Marcus. Appreciate that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, so let's see, go through the other stuff. And thank you all for being here, everybody. Appreciate the donations. 48 of you now. Hi, thank you for being here. Remember that your donations help us continue to be here and do things and buy things like the memory that I put in the machine that doesn't work and the ham radio that we're going to get down the road when the internet fails. Ham radio is kind of cool. And a lot of people out here are getting it. We'll talk about that another time. Anyway, Laura loaded this up because that's Bernie. And there he is with Ilhan, right? The whole racist thing going on right now with the GOP basically saying we're doubling down on our racism, but we're not going to let you call it racism. And then MSM basically not even going there. Just, well, is it? Is it not? This is what they did with climate change. Is it real? Is it not? It's like, thanks, journalism. That's, thank you, Bernie, for standing up. Did you know that, like, was 100 and something House Democrats, I don't remember that number, voted down the idea of impeachment recently?
Yeah.
Tells you how many we got to replace. This was awesome. We're going to run this. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is the WAPO interview.
Shitty interview, yeah.
Yeah. Where Bernie Bernie uses a cuss word. Right.
Yes.
This was awesome.
Do you have the quote? Can you quote it?
Yeah.
No, I don't have the quote.
Yeah.
I have.
Hang on. Let me. Oh, I see it started playing. Dang Twitter. Just don't play right when it starts. Here, you guys need to hear this. This is good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the whole thing. I just saw the opening clip where he was like, Bank of America, really? And then this. Bernie was taking no shit. He's taking no shit this time. It's really awesome.
Nope.
Here, listen.
In 1974, you said that busing policies were well-meaning in theory, but sometimes result in, quote, racial hostility.
What else did I say, Lynn?
Tell me.
No, you got it there. Read it. Read the whole quote.
I don't have the whole quote.
The whole quote is the federal government doesn't give a shit about African Americans.
Oh, that is true. That's why.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, that is true, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Read the whole quote. Yeah, I love it. That's
He
great.
knew the whole quote and had the audacity to try to paint Bernie as a racist.
Yeah. This was a smear attempt. Yeah.
It was. Well, the Washington Post does that. I mean, remember, they're the ones that wrote 16 articles?
26 in 24 hours.
There you go.
Never forget this.
I'll remember the screenshot of so many of the headlines, Bernie this, Bernie that, and they were all negative. And we that I still have that meme somewhere, it was just terrible. Anyway, I know Bernie's. I know he said shit. Well, terrible. Bernie should be busting F-bombs at this point. He's been doing this for 30 years. The fact that he's not is just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see, back to this. Where were we? that. Oh, now we're going to run this. So I didn't hear this either. This is his speech on Medicare for All, but he actually outlines his plan. And Laura said it's awesome, so we're going to listen to him outline his plan.
Yes.
Right here.
Go Bernie.
Yeah, see, then I have to fix the... Yeah, I'm just not like on it really fast today. There we go. All right. Tell us all about it, Bernie.
Move to a publicly funded program. The transition to the Medicare for All program would take place over 4 years. In the first year, benefits to older people would be expanded to include dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. Now, Medicare today is a very strong program and a very popular program for senior citizens in this country, but it does not provide all of the benefits that seniors need. The last that I heard, the ability to hear, the ability to see, the desire to have teeth in your mouth is a health care issue.
American dream. It's an American dream.
And so today we say to seniors that despite what you're hearing about Medicare for seniors being weakened, the truth is exactly the opposite. It will be strengthened by providing benefits that seniors today do not have. Furthermore, in the first year, we are going to lower the eligibility age for Medicare, which is now at 65, down to 55. And in that first year, we will provide coverage for every child in America.
How are you going to pay for it, Bernie?
In the second year, we will lower the eligibility age to 45, in the third year to 35, and by the fourth year, every man, woman, and child will be covered with comprehensive coverage through a Medicare for All program. You know, I want to say a word about this transition because I hear over and over again from political opponents, from the industry, it can't be done. Stop and think about the year 1965 when Medicare was first introduced. They did not have then the kind of technology that we have right now. They were developing a brand new program with all of the difficulty that entails. So please do not tell me that 55 years later, with all of the technology that we have, that we cannot simply over a 4-year period expand a successful program that is 55 years old.
Well, none of us will tell you that, Bernie, but there's lots of corporations, Aetna being one of them, that will tell you we can't do it because profit is always more important than the human being.
Yep. In
a capitalist-driven society. And that's really what we're fighting here, and that's really what Bernie is trying to say. The problem is he works within capitalism. He takes money. He has to. He takes our money because we have to use it to get him in office. It's the most irritating thing ever.
Yes. To finally get rid of all this crap, hopefully.
It really comes down to saying, I'm sorry, but you are not going to get to make that much money anymore. And that's what we're saying, Aetna. Sorry. And it will cost people's jobs. Aetna's going to do, first thing they're going to do is fire as many fucking people as they need to. If we ever get any kind of plan, I doubt we will before everything just collapses. But if Bernie wins, if the DNC somehow lets him be the choice, if somehow Bernie wins, he would if he were the DNC pick, but okay. And then somehow Trump peacefully leaves office. Somehow Bernie manages to convince whatever we have in Congress at that time that we need to put Medicare for All through, or maybe Bernie does an executive order and it doesn't cause the military to freak out or somebody to freak out. I just listed a number of things.
Yeah, I know.
What was that, like 5 unicorns? That's 5 unicorns.
5 unicorns. Yes.
We all need to find 5 unicorns, everybody. It's not just one. They're scattered throughout the universe.
And you did not even mention education and stuff.
No. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. How do we end capitalism? Well, you have to get an educated society. How do we educate that society? Capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an addiction. It's just like an addiction, because that's that hard to get off of, right? And that's really what this comes down to. The greed of the corporate class is an addiction. You know, when you're that fucking rich, you're building, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, for as cool as I think Musk is, right? He's just a greedy motherfucker who's building himself an escape route to the fucking moon or Mars or whatever he's doing. He's making Neuralink. I think Neuralink's a cool idea, but I'd rather have him, save the fucking planet first. Neuralink isn't going to do that. So,
yep.
I'd take one, you bet.
I know. I know.
John, this takes us back to Ultra Carbon on Netflix.
Right. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to go there, but Musk is on his way to stacks. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want a stack. I take that in a heartbeat, but he'll be like the first meth, right? Bezos will be a meth. I mean, seriously. You'll have carbon sequestered areas where it's cool to breathe and everything's okay. You'll have other areas where the poor live, right? We're on our way to that dystopia. It's just we're waiting for the really cool shit, like the implants and the stacks. Then it'll just be a sci-fi apocalypse. That's all. I know. I'm not offering any hope. We also talked with Ken about hope, which was a fantastic conversation, and I want to delve more into that. There was like a dozen things that he mentioned, and I'm like, oh, we got to talk about that, but I couldn't because we limited amount of time, and we will do more with that with Ken and the director Lindsay Grazel on when we do the screening with them, which we'll do sometime in September. And there's Ken is. I will say this, he will announce it, and I don't know when, but he does have an action plan that I can't say anything about, but it's going to drive media attention, and that's all I can say. See, so I hinted at it and gave you nothing. Because, of course, he's going to do another action, because he does work with XR, right? So, there. That's teasing. That's teasing. By September, though, you'll know, or, he'll at least be able to tell you. So
he's an very impressive guy.
Yeah. Yes, Deanna, the Expanse. Like, yeah, Bezos wants the whole solar system to look like the Expanse. I agree. I started watching that show. It's basically absolutely. Good call. All right, hang on, where we are with slides. I'm losing my place here. Laura made a nice slide on the Medicare for All, outlining it, and I'm just like, I want to show you this. If you guys haven't seen this, The Daily Show put this out, and it's good. It really makes Donald Trump's tweets look better.
Accurate.
And it's just an extension for Chrome or Firefox, and it allows you to see his tweets as written by a very young child. I don't want to insult any particular age, because there are lots of young children that can all write better than this, including ones that have just been born. But that's, it's fun to read them that way, or try to read them this way. On the other hand, it's just, it's Trump. There's that. Mike Gravel, screwed, right? How do you know you're a threat to the DNC? You're screwed by the DNC. That's pretty much how you know. But he also didn't, he didn't qualify by some polls, but there's Bill de Blasio's in there. He only had like 6,700 donations, and he's just in there because he's a rich guy, right? And was in there first. But Mike Gravel will not be on the debate stage that we are aware of at this moment. He's talking about doing unauthorized debates himself, and we've offered to help if they could use our help. I'm sure he's got lots of other people, and he really did rack up the donations necessary to be involved. and it would have been really fun to have him
Yes.
involved, but that's not going to happen.
And if you see John Delaney, his own campaign asked him to drop
I
out.
know. Look,
He's in the race, and
Delaney should just be like, I'm thinking about my dad. Gravel, you can just have my spot. That's really all he needs to do. It's just
exactly.
If you guys didn't see it, and we will be playing it again for we are going to do the debates. They picked the people for the debates, by the way. Bernie's in the first round, so we'll actually get
Warren,
with Warren. We will be broadcasting that. We will have the Raucous Caucus. So we'll have Johnny Graz and Tina Desiree Berg and Pat Cody and Jose Caballero and Laura Livengood. And if these two want to wake up at a stupid hour, they'll be there with us. And we will cover the Bernie debate. And we will stream it because, why not? We did last time. So we'll do that. And if it gets dinged, who knows? We'll see. It seems I think it'll be cool again. And we've got the best ending piece that Marcus found ever. And it's Songify the Debates. It was fucking... Still has me laughing, thinking about my dad.
Yes, and the way he's turning his eyes, he looks completely ridiculous.
Yeah, he really should just here you go, Bernie, or Gravel. He really should just hand it over. Anyway,
if you want to see the video again, you can go to We the People with our past guest. It was Dan Whitfield, right? It was a Dan Whitfield outro.
Yeah. Melissa H, well aware. Warren is a she's not a real progressive. She's got wealthy donors. Warren is a capitalist progressive, right? She wants the capitalist system to continue making money. That's her greenwashing. That's exactly what it is, right? Bernie is doing his best to let everybody know that we will be transforming the system away from putting capitalism first, and that's why nobody likes Bernie in the business world, because they know he's going to cut their fucking profits hard time. Warren is like, no, you guys are still going to make bank. We're just going to shift production, all right? And that's what she's going after here. So I'm well aware. Warren is about, she's got a middle ground, and we can't do middle ground anymore.
Elizabeth had her chance in 2016, and there she showed her colors.
Yes, agreed. Where to go? Well, man, I can't find it. There it is. So this is the debate cover that Jimmy's working on the cover, but now we can't put Gravel. You see where Gravel is, everybody? He's just sitting on the mat with his bong. So he may do his own unauthorized debate, and that would be freaking cool. I don't know when that would happen, but the fact that a bunch of donors, including myself, I've got some Gravel rolling papers on the way for my donations, supposedly. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of support and donations. So I hope we do something with it cool, or it donates it to Bernie or Tulsi or whatever. And he's all about a Bernie Tulsi ticket, right? So.
It would be great to have Mike Gravel's live reaction to the debate. This would be awesome. Yeah. Because I can imagine that he is raging.
Yeah, I'd love to have. Yeah, I hope he live tweets or live streams during the debate, and just between him and the kids, that'll be a blast. We'll probably grab his tweets and show them during our show. So that'll be fun. So join us for that. Yeah, I'm pissed about Gravel too, Brom. Yeah. It is, it's and NMSM is acting like Warren has invented. I don't know if you saw Pat Cody's or Nate Sliver's tweet about Warren having a plan. Why her plan is better than Bernie's plan for a plan. You got to find it. He's been killing it on Twitter with his stuff. Well done, Pat Cody. Yeah, Darcy, Warren is doing a good job spreading a more diluted progressive message. It's still progressive, but it's diluted, and that is causing concerns for many of us who don't want a middle ground. Yeah, how about that? I just want to throw that word in there.
Why would you vote for a cheap copy if you got the original? That's
right.
The point.
Bernie's a WAV file. Everybody else is an MP3.
Yes.
There you go. at varying levels of bitrate compression.
Or like Killer Mike used to say, or is saying all the time, Trump is Magneto. You need the antithesis of Magneto. This is Dr. X, so you need the OG, Bernie Sanders.
Yes, sure. That works. What else did I? Oh no, I wasn't ready to do this. I had other things to talk about. And Melissa H, I would love to have Mike Gravel on, but I guarantee you whatever he'll be doing for the debate will be much bigger than our little stage. He will be somewhere big, and he will have a live stream with lots of people or cover. You know, he's got it covered because, yeah. So you'll see that. Sure, but she doesn't really believe much of it. Yeah, to Darcy on the, yeah, I'm spending too much time looking at your conversation. All right. Shorts, and then let's get the hell out of here, everybody. Nancy Pelosi is doing something that's really pissing me off. If you're not aware of this, thank you, David Dayan, for turning me on to this particular thing in Reuters. Pelosi sets spending demands for 2-year budget deal. What's she doing? She's negotiating with the Trump administration on the budget. They just continue to approve all of the military budget increases, and that includes enough members of the House to get it done. You know, it's Pelosi signs on to the military budget. Jeff Merkley, military budget, as he complains about ICE and CBP, signs on to budgets that increase their spending. Okay, this is our Democrats that are always making sure that the profit wheel keeps turning, and they keep screaming about how horrible things are. Right, but what she's doing now is negotiating the way Nancy does, which is basically giving in, compromising more things. In the budget, this new budget must provide $9 billion in additional funds for the VA Mission Act. Now that alone sounds awesome. Well, of course, we want to take care of our VAs and our veterans, and this is the VA Mission Act, and we need $9 billion for it. Well, the VA Mission Act, which passed Congress with bipartisan support, seeks to revamp healthcare services provided by the Veterans Administration by allowing veterans to obtain private health care, expanding assistance for caregivers and incentives for health professionals, and making other changes, which means privatizing the VA. Let's just cut through the shit. Opening the doors for private industry to come in, for VA veterans to seek private health care, which is stupid. Why? My God, the military budget every fucking veteran should be living on a yacht with a private doctor and a nurse if the Pentagon can lose $21 trillion fucking dollars. Every vet. Their own yacht, their own island, their own private staff for the amount of money the Pentagon has fucking lost. And here we want to open the door to private industry coming in and making more fucking money off of our fucking veterans that we should take taken care of in the fucking first place. $21 trillion. Where did it go? Where did it go?
Did they fight in private wars, John?
Maybe they would have made, well, they make more money that way, I'm sure. This is what Nancy Pelosi is doing. This is what she's working on. What's the fucking point? What is the fucking point of Nancy Pelosi? She's just useless. Bah.
Yeah. 2 words. Shahid Buttar.
That's right. Shahid Buttar, who's actually doing quite well. I mean, Nancy's really helping Shahid lately. She's I mean, was it Paul Chaitlin, you know, Trump has a strong ally in Nancy Pelosi, and I caught that out on Facebook and dropped it into Twitter, and it got a shit ton of action.
This is no joke, because if you're serious, you know, look at the Trump attacks. We spare them out for today, you know. The Trump attacks on the squad, you know, the ground was made by Pelosi.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And Trump picks this bullshit up.
Yeah.
And what he did, and what we saw, how it developed, and it's horrifying.
Right. It's yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are all talking about Shahid. Yes, I know you're all supporting him too. Thank you so much. He's got a. I mean, I don't know that anybody else has joined in. There's probably, you know, I mean, there's going to be a Republican, of course, but hopefully we won't have other progressives. No offense, but every other progressive that ran last time for Nancy's seat you should be running for a different place because you're now a seasoned candidate and you should easily win some other race, right?
This time we cannot split the vote again.
Yeah.
This time we must bring Shahid through and unseat Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, because, and listen, you know, we want him to win. He's already won. He's driving the message left. Everybody's pissed off at Nancy. He's gained traction. They're starting to see the difference between, you know, what should be happening there. So he wins already, right?
Yes.
And we just need to keep driving that forward. The more his team, I'm a member of that team, can push out media, the more we can engage, the more we can create actual ads. And that's really what I believe that's what is, you know, one of the plans is working towards saving enough money to actually run a real ad in a place where it's going to matter, which is San Francisco. And if you can imagine the media cost of running an ad on any network in San Francisco, holy shit, right? That's got to be pricey, especially when all the networks don't want you to win. You know, so whereas in Germany it's publicly funded elections and the election laws state that every candidate gets the same amount of airtime, or right, or they don't even know if they get airtime, but they
there is no chance that a private corporation or private person can get airtime to promote a candidate or a party.
Do they get on the air at all, or is it just
they get every party gets equal time on
okay,
air.
so they do get on the air, they just okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and in contrast, it only costs 30 to 70,000 euros to run out of your own expenses to run a campaign.
Yes, of course, the costs are settled, you know.
I was going to say, that's interesting. So you still have to pay, but we'll talk about that another time. We've already done a thing on German elections. It's whatever, your country's still fucked, but it's better. Just leave it at that, you know.
Can't agree on that, yeah, okay.
This was the last thing we did with Progressive Oregon, you guys. We're kind of at this stage. I'm glad you're all here. Thank you all for being here. Hey, 46 of you. And there's not going to be a Progressive Oregon tomorrow. Larry is busy studying for his Jedi Level 2, right? The Robert's Rules of Order, Parliamentary Procedure. He's already become a registered parliamentarian, and now he's going to be I don't know, Supreme Overlord Parliamentarian. I don't know what the next level up is. But this is really cool. I mean, this is really cool because knowing Larry, having somebody like Larry working on government at the state level is what we need. And we've had our most success, right? Thanks to you keeping us alive here with funding and support and sharing our content on the web. You know, we only have to reach a small group of people in Oregon to really affect change in the Oregon State Party, and it's a model that I would love to see developed out by people like Jose Caballero in California, and Oz Lefebvre up in Washington. With, you know, I don't know what's going on up there in Washington. We got to find out there. But, you know, the whole West Coast line really needs to swap out their Democratic Party leadership for some actual progressive leaders. And we certainly don't have that in Oregon right now. We're working on that. So, yeah.
It's happening. I noticed that Holly M. Schutter from Corvallis also is in office now. No,
I was going to mention that. Thank you for mentioning that. And Larry is in chat. Hi, Larry. It says, John, possible progressive Oregon on ICE action in Astoria this week. So, tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. Next week. Next week. Am I not around next week? When's the weekend I leave? See, this is the problem. I might be gone, Larry.
You're in August or not?
Next weekend is, so we're here. Okay. So in 2 weeks I go. August 2nd, everybody, I am gone. I am on the road, headed down to meet Larry and Laura Livengood in Laura's neck of the woods, and we're going to hang out with Adriel Hampton at his wedding, and we're also going to interview some progressive candidates down in Laura's area and talk to them. So it'll be a fun trip. And I will be, of course, live streaming from the road, trying not to get pulled over with a lot of fruit that I'll be carrying across the state line there and other harvest goods. But at least I won't have 2 stowaway Germans this time. That's next time.
Next time, yeah.
So anyway, hey, Larry, did you hear about the memory? Sorry. All right. Dan Whitfield was a very interesting candidate, independent, running against Tom Cotton in Arkansas, and really had a good time talking with Dan. He's got some interesting ideas on things. And what I like about him the most, he even emailed after the show, was that he's very willing to learn and interested to learn more from everybody. And his views are not rigid, not meaning that he doesn't take a stand, but that he's, he said after the show, he's like, I didn't know what you said about this particular thing, and that made me change my mind on this. It's like, well, there you go, right? I mean, that's the kind of person we want looking at things, is somebody who's willing to at least look at new information, right? So cheers for Dan.
Openness, and that's, it's important.
Exactly. Back to Ken. Just go watch the interview with Ken, but please go watch the movie. It's really awesome. It's really awesome, and I'm looking forward to doing with Ken, and we're going to do this in September, right? Do another screening of this, and that'll be fun.
It is a very, very nice movie. It shows also a lot of his family situation, what his son says, his wife says, etc. right now. Very interesting to see.
It is. Brom, your new processor comes in on Monday, and I can swap it out. I'll send you my 8-core. Jesus, man, that's incredible. Send it to, I don't know. All right. Well, I got to find something to do with it. That's between Oz and me, we have lots of freaking awesome computers. We don't have the people to use them. That's, but please. And I said I would find a use for it, right? So they're taking the monitor braces off and letting you go to California. Yes. I've been on house arrest before. Those monitors suck, I tell you. They work, though. They work. All right, shortcuts, really quick. In other sad climate news, 90 dead and 1 million displaced by monsoon flooding in India and Nepal. That was just over the last week. See, while Americans are like, climate change isn't bothering me right now, I can handle the heat. This stuff is going on in other parts of the world, right? And so it's kind of a race to see which country gets annihilated the most and acts first. But within that, it's, if you get annihilated enough, it's going to be really hard for you to fight back. So we're kind of in this interesting end stage, which we talked about with Ken, and it's funny, right after the show, Ken left the Zoom, and we were talking with everybody, and I said, it really more felt like it wasn't like a normal interview. It felt like a bunch of really tired activists going, fuck. It's just, we did. What, Marcus? What?
Can you imagine 1 million people being displaced?
Right, yeah.
This is a crazy
But this is nothing. This is nothing.
Yeah, but only by this incident only.
Yeah, but I have to add on. There are studies out in year 2030. 300 to 500 million people from India, will run out of water.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I read this also.
It's already happening in their 6th largest city right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We covered that.
And the thing is, if those people are leaving the places where they cannot obviously live anymore, right, and go elsewhere, what's happening?
Right.
They are becoming criminals.
Right. Now they're immigrants.
Criminals. Immigrants, yes. And if they're immigrants, they're directly criminals. You know, we don't want them.
Right.
We got to keip them out.
Where are they going to go? So when the mass migrations come from the south, the deep south of the United States, headed north, right? Which is what's going to happen. And mass migrations of people heading to the West Coast or heading north up to Oregon and Washington and beyond.
Yeah.
That's what's headed here, right?
Yes.
All those farmers that voted for Trump. No offense. I know there's not all the farmers. Most farmers voted for Trump. Most farmers still want to vote for Trump. We'll see. Anyway. It'll be fun watching it with you guys.
Yeah.
I love this statistic. The one really awesome thing about the climate crisis is that you get some really great numbers, right? I'm a math guy. So California's wildfires are 500% larger due to climate change. Well, that's a lot of money. So capitalism ought to be thrilled because that's a lot of, somehow we're going to do something about that. Maybe we'll have electronic trees. Maybe they'll invent fire bots. Right now, we pay prisoners in California $1 an hour to go fight these. So that's just a great way to keep the prison population running.
And Kamala Harris loved it, that these slaves, labor slaves, would fight the fires.
Yeah. She's happy with that.
Yeah.
Kamala and Biden on debate night too, right?
Yes.
So that'll be the sparks fly.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have Delaney in debate 1 because he's just fucking comical.
Yes, he's a fun part, yeah.
We don't get Gravel, but we certainly get comic relief out of Delaney.
Anyone running out of drinks?
Yeah. Are we ready to get the hell out of here? Aim 48 of you. Fire optic trees. Nice odds. My property value will go up. Well, I'm counting on beachfront. I'm waiting for the big earthquakes because there's been a lot of earthquakes on the West Coast. It's going to happen. We keep fracking. And if we do this CO2, so imagine that. California will become the headquarters for CO2 storage. So they'll pump it into their fracking wells to drive up that production. Shouldn't affect earthquakes. Shouldn't affect any of that stuff. Just that's awesome. That makes me smile. We didn't check this, but if I don't worry about it. This is an interesting song. How'd you find this, Marcus?
I had it on my music list for a couple of times already, and it is not listed on YouTube policy, so we are not sure if it is blocked or not. I hope not. It's a band from Southern California, and as we did not have as a topic today what Trump bullshit was about the squad, I think we don't need to lose much words about it. We just let the bad cop girl band talk. Woman anarchized, then it says it all, you know. It's a political band from Southern California, and they are fighting for their rights. And I think this is exactly what our 4 squad ladies are also doing for us.
All right. Well, I hope they do what everybody else does on YouTube these days and just monetize and make money off this, please. You're working on a Bernie song, Darcy? That's awesome. And what was I saw? Oz, don't boycott. Watch debate night 2 with us, because if anything, we'll make it fun. We're gonna show all the tweets from the Raucous Caucus on screen while we watch. We may just come on and laugh or talk or cut in the middle. We'll have fun because it's gonna be a joke night. So, why not? Joe says some of the dumbest shit ever. Just watch it for that.
Yeah.
Just watch it for that. Thank you all so much for being here. I would be absolutely fucking insane if it weren't for all of you. This was a many F-bomb day. I just realized.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not a record.
It all started with Bernie, with his,
I forget that we have a disclaimer, although I don't think people actually read the disclaimer. But anyway.
Meanwhile, they got used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can start this.
Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Fine.
Democracy is now coming up short. I can't watch while evolution falls apart. Bury me in history with Nancy Morgan Hart. Before I'm forced back to the start, it's my